I also have a section that says Cassandra's work for dummies. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cassandra. If you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So today's video is more of an informational video. I get this question asked to me on pretty much every medical billing video I have. So I figured I'll just make a separate video so if someone asks me, I can direct them to one place and give you all the information you need and go very in depth with that. So I have my notebook here. So if you see me looking down, I'm just looking because I need to make sure I'm giving you all the information needed. So as you can see by the title, this video will be me sharing with you all the programs I feel you will need and some tips on why you will need these programs and what you should know before applying for a medical billing job or coding job. So with this day and age, every single thing is via the web, especially with COVID. I went from working in the office 5 days a week to being in the office none at all to being in the office 2 to 3 times a week. Now I'm back to being at home because I have bronchitis that turned into pneumonia. When you have bronchitis and you're asthmatic, it is worse, and because I can't wear the mask, it's too restricting to wear the mask, I'm able to work from home. Anyways, that's beside the point. I'm just like sidetracking now. I'm gonna try to stop talking with my hands, guys, because I know this is gonna be irritating. I'm also working, so if you see me doing something at the same time, that's what I'm doing. So with everything being remote right now, or a lot of people working from home, or even if you are creating your own medical billing company, you need some kind of platform for your meetings. The major one is Zoom, which we do use Zoom, but it's for like outside vendors. So we'll use Zoom for outside vendor that we have a conference call with. Let's say the outside vendor that does our no faults / accident claims, they meet with us once a month. We also have another team that does like the backlog stuff that they meet with us once a month. So those two kind of meetings outside the company meetings are done via Zoom or some kind of internet-based program. Now for our in-house meaning you are employed by the facility, we use Teams. So Teams is just Microsoft Teams. It's a install program that the company has on our desktop. I will insert a little snippet of that on the screen here, just so you can see what it looks like and get a better understanding of what I'm talking about. I might try to do like a quick little overview or a little tutorial so you can see what I mean, just demonstrating what it is. This one is kind of major because this is something that every single job I have had, I needed this program. Well, this and the next one that I'm gonna say. These two you will always need as a medical biller, and I feel like it's any kind of corporate job you have or any kind of office job, you'll probably be using these two. And the first major one is Outlook / company emails. I've always had Outlook. I've never worked for another company that did not use Outlook as the email. So with that being said, the functions that I feel are the most important functions to know about Outlook is understanding the basic emails, understanding how to set up your signature for the company. What I find would be easiest is when you just start, have someone that does the same job as you send you their signature, and you just copy it and change whatever needs to be changed. I will put my company signature in here, but I will definitely have to like blur certain things, so you're not going to get the full picture of my company email, because obviously I can't show you, not that I can't show you that because we send it out all the time, but for privacy reasons, and I do not want the facility I work for on the internet, because that's just something private. Even though I don't work on site, it's still just too personal to put out there. So with that being said, that's that. You might want to have someone just send it to you. You can copy it until you figure out how you want to change yours, or if you want to add fancy writing or anything like that. So the next thing in Outlook that you will need to know how to operate is your calendar. So I will definitely give you guys a quick overview of that, so you're able to see somewhere here how you use your calendar. Your calendar is very important because it tracks your meetings for you, and it will ensure that you're able to see all of your meetings, know when your meetings are. People outside the company can also put you on meetings, and it will show up on your calendar. Once it has your email address and they've asked you for that meeting, especially if it's outside, you have to accept it and it will show up on your calendar. So that's how the whole calendar things work. And also, that's a great way how to prevent double booking of meetings. This way you can organize your schedule and block off certain times for when you want to do certain things. Like with me, I don't like to have meetings at the end of the day, because I need to do my closeout stuff at the end of the day. So if you're sending me something for a meeting that's going to throw me off, if you want to have a meeting with me at 4:30 in the evening, I log off at 4:30. So now you're throwing me off. So I would like to have my meetings earlier in the day. I don't really like anything after 4 o'clock. So you can just block that off. Or another good thing about your calendar is you can also put in, if you're out of the office, anything like that where you're unavailable, and you can always have it forward to your personal email if you would like. Most companies do not like when you have their emails being forward, because it's a HIPAA violation. You never know what patient information is being sent in those emails. I would not advise you do that, but you can if your company okays it. But I don't advise it. Keep your work life and your personal life separate. Once you're off the clock, you're off the clock. So I don't recommend you do that. Okay, another thing with Outlook is you'll realize even if you work for an agency, you still have like people you're working with. No matter what you do in a billing situation, you're always gonna have a lot of group emails. So how I find to make this as simple as possible, so we have teams in our department. I'm inpatient, and there's other people on the inpatient team. So just so we can all be able to work the same account and understand our account, and if someone else needs to work our account, we're all on each other's emails. So to make it easier, you can create group emails. Instead of me having to go ahead and enter everybody's information one by one, I just create a group email with a name. So I have it as our HSR team, meaning my team, and I can just input that, and then once I input that name, it sends it to everybody. No matter what billing you do, if you even have your own company or anything like that, you are still going to need to do group emails. This is just an easier way if you are emailing these same people over and over in a day, and you work with these people on a day-to-day basis, and you need to send them emails. This way is just the easiest form, and it makes it a lot easier on you. So I would recommend learning how to do that. The next major thing with Outlook is it keeps track of all your contacts. Even people that you don't really have contacts for, once they're in the system under employee, they're input into the employee database, you're able to look for that, and you're able to look them up on Outlook. And with that, you're able to definitely not have to search for, oh, what is this person's email? I can't find this person's email. It's all in Outlook, and you can see their title, their phone number, where they're located, all that stuff. So it's just easy. 1, 2, 3. So those are the major categories I feel you will definitely need to know how to work in order to do this job. Or not really do this job, but the major things I feel like you should definitely learn before applying to a job, because you know you're gonna need these skills no matter what. So these are things that I would recommend you try to learn, get ahead of it, especially if you're not tech savvy. This way you actually have some experience before going into a job. If they ask you a question, there's no medical billing job you're gonna have that you don't need a computer. It just is what it is. You have to have a computer. You're gonna need to know how to do certain things, and they do ask you that. So the next major thing that I would say you would need is Excel. That one, there's no way to go around it. You would definitely need Excel for everything. Let's say you get a email. Let's just say you're already employed. You will need Excel, because that's how you're going to get a lot of reports. Say you're working a batch of claims or whatever patients were seen that day, and they need to send it to you to work, they're going to send it to you via Excel. So that's your best bet, is to learn how to do the basic functions in Excel. Basic function is how to hide a column, how to add to Excel, how to just move things around, how to highlight, stuff like that. It's just, once you have the basics, as you go, you'll learn more things and you'll understand more about it as you go. That's one of those programs that you kind of have to play with, but know the basics of how to move around accounts, how to add up a whole row, a whole column, how to input for one column to be matched with another column, so it's just things like that. So once you're able to play with it, I know there's like programs that you can definitely look for on YouTube, or channels on YouTube, that will give you a better understanding and play-by-play on how to do all that stuff. If you are not very tech savvy and don't like tech things, I do recommend you try to do like a program, like a class, a computer class, They do have a lot of virtual ones that you can probably pay for, and it's not that expensive if you want more in-depth learning where you can ask questions and do stuff like that. So that's the Excel portion. The email and the Excel are two major things that you definitely will need to learn how to work. My next major thing is not really a computer program or anything, but you will need it. That will be your billing Bible. I call it that because it's like your Bible for billing. Hold on, let me show you mine. Okay, so this is my billing Bible. I covered up here because I have each facility that I work on with their NPI, that's their National Provider ID, and the tax ID for the facility. So I don't do physician billing. I do billing for just the hospital. The physician billing is done by the physician coding team that they have, that they hire, outsource. That's on them. That's their billing stuff. So with this, if you work for a provider that has billing privileges at a hospital, you would have to code these encounters based on what the doctor coded. Sometimes, not sometimes, every time a doctor sees a patient, they choose the codes. And as a coder, you have to go in and make sure that you're choosing the correct code for what that doctor did. And also, you have to make sure you're able to upscale the code to the maximum where you know it will be paid out with. You have to do within the scope of what the provider did. Say the provider seen a patient and all they coded was the visit, but they did not code like if they got their COVID vaccine, stuff like that. Those you would have to add. The provider might have just put on their COVID vaccine, or no, a general encounter visit, like a 99 whatever code, but they did not put that they gave the COVID vaccine or the code to administer the vaccine. There's a separate code you put when administering a vaccine on top of the actual vaccine. So they get paid for all of that. Your job is to make sure that's on the claim and it's going out clean and it is there with all the necessary with all the necessary information that needs to be on there. So I have the facility stuff. To make it easier for me, I have it taped on the front because it just, sometimes I'm working, I could just glance at it if I'm on a call and see it. So I'm gonna kind of open here. I can't really show you guys a lot of stuff because it is HIPAA violation, or it's information that I just can't give inside our billing system and all that stuff. So, but this book is full of how to do certain things, how to, like when I first started and I was training, I would screenshot stuff, especially stuff you don't do on a day-to-day basis. That's the stuff that you need to make sure is in this Bible, because you have to be able to remember. You have to have everything in one place. And then, like, I have a section in there for if we're working on a report or if I'm tracking something, I'm able to write it down and go from there and then remember what I need to do, how I did it. So if it does work out, then I know what I did, how to do it next time and stuff like that. I also have in here all my login information. Every program I have a login for, I have it in here. And then, like, I have common denial codes per department. So we don't have specialties. Like, we have specialty, but we don't just do one specialty, we do everything. So this just is easier. And then I also have like a list of who I need to contact for every department that I might need help for. So if it's something to do with administration, admitting. So if it has something to do with if it has something to do with admitting the patient or the front end, I know who to send the claim back to. I have that person's contact. So that's why I call it my Bible, because you'll need this. And also in here, I also have a section that says Cassandra's work for dummies, meaning any co-worker that needs to step in for me can easily, if I leave this book at home, at work, they can easily go ahead and just look in this book, and they'll be able to tell you how to do what I do, and what I'm doing or what I'm working on or anything like that. They're able to just know what I'm working on, where I left off, and how to do things for my kind of claims. So yeah, that's how I do that. So I'm gonna go ahead, because I only have like hour and a half or 45 minutes to get these done. So I'm gonna go ahead. So those are the things that I feel like you should have in place before you go ahead and apply for a job as a medical biller. I want to say thank you guys for clicking on today's video. If you enjoyed this content and like to see more like this, leave a comment down below and ask me any questions you might have, or anything that you might need help with, or if you just want me to do a video on something else and get more in depth with it, please let me know and I will go ahead and do so for you guys. And also, I was thinking about doing like a resume for new hires with no experience, how to do a coding resume for, a billing resume, so you are able to get an upper hand and see how to kind of put a resume together if you just have no experience. Let me know if you're interested in that kind of content, and I will catch you guys in the next one.
Sure.